There.
Hello, everybody. This is Walking Picker. Welcome again to our show. We are talking consignment selling with our guest, Danna Crawford, who was here last week. So we will not be getting too many personal questions this week. And as usual, Mr. Cool Toes is showing aboard. Sean, would you do your spiel?
Yeah, I'm Cool Toads, aka Sean. I do have a channel on YouTube, Cool Toads. I am no longer doing the Toadcast for now. I'm taking a break. I don't know when I'll be back, but I'll probably use little videos here and there, I'm sure. But I mean, once it's in you, you can never get it out of it. But or get it out of you. And yeah, I also have a fan page on Facebook. Yeah, I'm just such a celebrity. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm a great actor. No, on Facebook, it's called Cool Toads Pad. So go check me out there as well. Cool.
And as said earlier, we have our guest for the second week in a row, Miss Danna Crawford. For the people that weren't here last week or in previous shows, can you explain a bit about yourself and anything you would like to promote before we start?
Okay, well, first I'd like to say thank you to Chris and Mr. Cool Toads, who's just so cool, and for having me, because I love hanging out with you guys. And so you can find me on YouTube at my YouTube name is Ask Danna, AskDanna, which is the same name as my eBay store, AskDanna.com. And if you have any questions, you can contact me at powersellingmom.com. It's funny because I had about 18 items to ship, and I do a little shipping show on YouTube. And so I started my segment, and I had to shut it down because I promised these lovely men that I was going to be on their show today. So I have to go back and start my shipping as soon as we're done. So I have about 10 more to ship.
See, and that tells you how awesome the our show is. She had to stop her stuff in order to be on our show. There we go.
Right. There you go. Got to be at the right place at the right time.
Yep. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay. No, I appreciate
had to get my sarcasm in there.
Well, I know that last week you were saying something about having to go to a webinar on Tuesday. So how did that go?
Yep, it was good. We just I can't even keep track of what I'm doing. This is like my absolute favorite time of the year, and it's just the best time of the year making money. And so I've been, I just hit my goal for November, which is over the moon. I'm just over the moon about. And so I've increased my goal for this month because I'm all about goal setting. So I've increased my goal and challenging myself, and that's what keeps me going. I constantly challenge myself. And so tomorrow I'm doing an eBay workshop at the church, and it's called a Cyber Monday eBay listing party. And everybody's bringing laptops, and we're listing stuff on eBay for charity. And it'll all be promoting Giving Tuesday, which is the next day. So Cyber Monday is for 2 hours. I'm going to be doing a listing party at the church. So I don't know if I can figure out how to record it. If I can. It might be too much, but sometimes I wish I could record everything I'm doing because I do such fun stuff, but I don't have enough battery life.
Like I say, maybe you can ask one of your people that are coming if they have a camera, and maybe they can tape you and then send you the copy, and you can upload it.
Yeah, that's true. I just hate putting people out, so... and my husband, he's always got things going on, and plus, anytime he's done it, he shakes everywhere, and then and he's looking over here, and then he's.
You need like 3 GoPros like around here, and then you can different angles or something.
That's a thought.
Splice it all together. Splice it. Wow, did I just show my age? Wow.
Yeah, because yesterday we hit a community sale at a trailer park, and it was hilarious. We had so much fun, and I bought so much stuff, and I just my phone went dead, so I didn't have any way to record it, and it would have been just an awesome episode, but on my treasure hunting playlist, but I couldn't pull it off, so
Wow.
it was a shame. So that's that.
Awesome.
I hope you and all our viewers had a well-deserved Thanksgiving Day break.
Dude, I got to
Right?
fill up and watch football. It was pretty awesome.
Well, 1 day break. So how was your Thanksgiving?
No, I had a great Thanksgiving, and I spent it with family up in St. Petersburg, and hung out downtown St. Petersburg, and we were at a hotel, so I hung out in the hot tub, and after I couldn't walk, I waddled over to the hot tub and dropped in, and then got over my guilt from eating too much. But how about you? What did you guys do?
Well, I basically stayed home, ate my surf and turf, and we watched a lot of Hulu and YouTube videos.
Cool.
So,
Yeah.
basically another day, this was a special dinner for us.
I went to my sister's and got to see my great niece for the first time, my second great niece, actually.
Oh, nice.
And ate a lot of food and watched football and felt no guilt for eating too much.
Yeah, it's the day to pig out, that's for sure, but I've been pigging out ever since.
Yeah, that's true too. End up having so much leftovers.
So, did you have any big sales or surprises over the weekend so far?
Yeah, I had an offer on my other tiki mug. I was pretty excited. So that was a big bonus yesterday when I had the offer come in on the tiki mug, and it was like, oh, thank you. So there's a car payment, so I'm happy about that.
Heck yeah.
So it's funny how things work out. And then just having like these Tide stain sticks, it cracks me up. I've been selling them like crazy, and while I was doing a segment today, all of a sudden an order came in for more Tide stain sticks. So my husband makes so fun of me because he walked by those at the thrift store, and he kicks himself now as I'm selling them like crazy.
You're like, ah. That's what last year I had. I found a whole bunch of the little tiny fuses for Christmas lights, and I found like, I don't know, 50 packs of 2 of them, and they were like 19 or 29 cents, I can't remember, each. So I bought them all, and this was like in October, so I waited until like the beginning of December, ended up selling each pack for $4.99. I was like, oh dang. And
nice.
had the people pay for shipping too. I was like, dang, I couldn't keep them in stock. It was just flying out. Yeah, no such luck this year, but yeah, that was awesome.
Great. So yeah, it's good. And then now Cyber Monday, I've been telling people to get those markdown manager sales going. I went in earlier and started picking out all of my 50% off, and then they'll start at midnight, or I actually started mine at 1 in the morning, and then they'll go till 1 in the morning or midnight the next day. And so I was setting those up. So I picked out about 100 items and did 50% off, and then I think I picked out 30 items at 30% off. And then go to the header on your eBay store and add Cyber Monday as the first keywords. Put in Cyber Monday, comma, Cyber Monday, or put in sale, comma, and put in, those kind of words on your store is a good idea as well. I was going to mention that to you, Chris. And you have a store too, Sean, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have much in there right now.
Well, get over there and get the Cyber Monday keywords in there.
I did put a sale up myself for starting on Black Friday till Cyber Monday, all the way till I think it was ending on just before Tuesday morning. And I only had one sale, and well, actually two sales. One was an auction that ended, so I'm waiting on some more ka-chings. But I'm doing
Okay.
20% off. I was doing 20% off on my items. So,
Okay. Well, that's good. That should help.
and I've had about 80 something or 60 something auctions going off because I have a whole bunch of patterns that I listed at 99 cents.
Cool.
So
All right.
I'm just at like 144 items as of still today.
All right. Well, good
Yeah,
luck
Sean,
with
I'm
that.
still whooping your butt.
Yep. That's good though, man. It's for like a year and a half. You were at like 24 items, man. Now you're way up. Pretty good.
Yeah, as soon as I bought the store, I went from 50 to almost 100 in
Yep.
a month.
Yeah, it was good, man.
Okay.
And speaking of, I was going to say, speaking of Cyber Monday, are you looking forward to Cyber Monday and Giving Tuesday?
I am indeed. I've got, well, of course, my sales lined up, Cyber Monday. Then I'm going to go to this listing party. And then I've got all these tweets lined up. I've got a lot of campaigns running for Giving Tuesday. So I'm going to be tweeting every 20 minutes on Giving Tuesday and promoting a promotion that I've got going on. And then you can find me on Twitter. Just go to Danna Crawford, all one word, Danna Crawford, all one word on Twitter, and follow me. And so, because I'd appreciate the retweets and the excitement that's going to kick off on Giving Tuesday, because there's eBay's running a big campaign on eBay Giving Works, and they're going to be giving away $25,000 to a nonprofit. Or it's going to be split up, and there's like a $10,000 prize and all these prizes. So I'm going to be participating in that hardcore on Tuesday. But I have to shut down and then go to Yulee, Florida, which according to my GPS, it looks like it's about a 2.5-hour drive. And I'm giving a workshop there at the post office in Yulee, Florida. I don't know where it is, so I'll figure it out. So
That
So
sounds
the
like it's out
workshop
in the
is
middle of nowhere.
the workshop is from 1 o'clock till 3:30, and we got about 30 people signed up, so it should be a good turnout. And then I'll hurry back and then get busy to finish off the rest of the night on Giving Tuesday. And so it's like now's the time just to kick butt with listings and bring out those Christmas gifts that I just sold today, a plate and bowl that I bought for 10 cents, and I sold it for $24.99. So, and it was a Looney Tunes kind of plate. Well, you'll see when you watch my shipping show. It'll probably be on at midnight, but
Yeah.
by the time I get it done, so I'm pumping up the coffee.
You no doubt. Shoot.
Well, it's gotta be out on Monday anyway. You do it's usually shipping shows on Monday anyway.
Right. So it'll be live by Monday. So, but that's what are we here to talk about? I forget.
Well, our topic tonight is going to be the consignment sewing, but we haven't gotten there yet. But Sean wants to look in the comments, see if there's any personal questions, or do some shout-outs before I finish my last two questions before we...
Cool. Yeah, let's see.
So I don't fly
In
through
the
it like I
chat,
usually
we
do.
have Scotty Walker, yeah, Justin Starcher, Bill Stoner, Laura Lee, Michelle Sheffy? Sorry. Yeah, I totally blew that name, I'm sure. I'm sorry. Tinker's Row Retail, Ren S. Really? And Arbitrage Albatross, Larry's Treasures, Maurice Floyd, all in the chat. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for stopping by. Albatross wants to know who's the funny man with the orange hair. That
Who
would
is
be
that
me.
guy?
I don't know. I have my old school hair on too. Hey, Joseph Hare, what's up? Welcome in. Long time supporter too.
So I take it no questions in there yet?
Good.
No, no questions. Just that one.
Okay, well, for the newer viewers that may not already seen us or they might catch us later, um, could you give us a background of your reseller knowledge and groups you're into?
On my reseller knowledge,
Yep.
well, you mean consignment selling, right?
Well, right now, even regular reselling, like how long you've been selling and everything else. Because I don't know how many people have seen the older videos with you on. We might have a new visitor from your tweet that all of a sudden pops in and says, what's this about? So,
Well, I've been an eBay seller on eBay since '97, and it's my livelihood, my life. And Sean's on the phone now, so.
he muted himself.
So anyhow, eBay's been my life, and I think I got started with Beanie Babies and Star Wars figures. So I was a Star Wars figure collector myself, and so I started learning about as I was going to the toy shows and picking up Star Wars figures and picking up Beanie Babies for my kids, and then I was also doing the flea market. I actually used to be a picker, and so. But I didn't know that word. I never heard that word until this friend of mine named Auction Wally used the word picker, and I was like, "What did you say?" And he said, "Picker." He said, "You're a picker," and I'm like, "A picker? What do you mean?" So I didn't know I was a picker, but. Yeah, so I used to drop the kids off at school and then garbage pick, actually, and then find enough stuff to go sell at the flea market. And then I would sell stuff at the flea market, and then, of course, Beanie Babies and Star Wars and toy shows. And then someone told me about eBay, and that's when my life changed, because I never loaded up my van again and had to go running around messing with the flea market. So that's how I got started.
Very cool. So now, see, that's coming back full circle. You're on the Walking Pickers channel.
How about that? Except then I was a van picker.
Yeah.
I used to embarrass my kids so bad because I would pull up, next, and I'm like, "Timmy, jump out and get that," and he'd be like, "Oh my God, Mom." So, but hopefully I'm going to finish my book. Now it'll probably be next year before I finish it, but hopefully I'll get that done.
Well, do you want to also plug any of your Facebook groups that you're in or part of?
Okay, well, I have, I'm a bit of a groupie, so I have a few Facebook groups. So if you just go do a search for Treasure Hunt Selling, and it's an eBay group. So I'm all about eBay, by the way. I don't promote any other sites or get involved with any other sites. So if you join the eBay selling tips group, and that's where we share tips on selling on eBay. And then, of course, I have another group called Free Auction Advertising, and that's on Facebook. So you would go to Facebook to search for any of these groups. And then the Free Auction Advertising one, you can post one eBay listing a day. So if you come in and start, I just threw out 2 people today. So they came in and were posting their other off eBay sites, and I'm like, it clearly says right on the sign, free eBay advertising, and then even my treasure hunting group is all about finding items to sell on eBay, not other sites. So, or you can just search for groups Danna Crawford. I actually have a private group, and it's like changed names a couple times. Finally, I gave up, and I just call it Danna Crawford. So I don't have a graphic up there for that one yet. But it's kind of, I just set that up for people to ask me quick questions, or, that we don't want advertised in all the other groups. So it's kind of like an info kind of group for asking questions. And that's that.
Yeah, I think I'm in 3 of your. Oh, I know of 2 of your groups at least. The Facebook one you just mentioned and your eBay selling tips.
Yep.
Because I shared the show on there. I'm like, okay, she shared it. She's going to be on the show, and she hasn't come into the hangout yet.
What?
Well, I was laughing and talking to Sean, saying that you were sharing that you were going to be on the show, and you hadn't hit the hangout.
Oh, right. No,
yeah,
I had to go
like,
around and market it first.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody, for coming. Forgot to say that. I see some of my friends here.
Awesome.
Okay, Sean, anything else in the comments before I do my lead-in question?
There is. Look, let's see. Let's go up a little higher here.
Well, I see Michelle. Oh, go ahead.
I was laughing at one of Brian's. Angie Martin, welcome. Angie's cool. You guys got to go to her Facebook. Her YouTube. She's awesome vlogs. Let's see. Yeah, Laura Lee. Was doing consignments, but returns were merchandise has not come back. Stopped everything. That's for the consignment part of the show, but.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Just so you know, I see Mr. Golden Finger Picker under his other nickname.
Oh, Golden Finger Picker. Oh, yep. Hey, what's up?
Edison Phonograph Guy.
He must be on his phone.
Under that name. And yes, Brian, Danna was supposed to be on the meet and greet last week, but things came up where she couldn't make it. So
Where?
I'm sure Chad will extend the invitation for whenever she can make it. Knowing Chad, that's the way he is.
Yeah, I have a hard time. I'm not really. I used to be a night owl, and I'm not a night owl anymore. Now I get up 5 a.m. So I'm just on the go early. So it's really hard for me. When you guys kept me up so late last week, I swear I will not do that again. So that's
a couple days to get back into the swing.
I could not get up. It was like 10 o'clock before I got out of bed, and it's like the day's gone when you do that. So I cannot do that. So I don't do well, staying up late at all. So 2 hours is my limit.
Well, I do appreciate you taking the time to stay up late enough to be on. I know it's on your East Coast time. It's 9 o'clock already by the time we start. So
right.
Yeah.
So by the time we get done at 11 o'clock, it's already late for you.
Right.
Hey, Joseph Hare wants to know, do you sell costume jewelry lots for repair or crafts?
I've sold costume jewelry, like the only time I sell costume jewelry when I have a lot of it in lots is if I have a jewelry box. So I've done better to do it. So I always pick up jewelry boxes at garage sales, and then I just save them for when I can fill them full of the costume jewelry that's not worth selling individually. And then I just start loading it in the box. And then when the box is filled up, then I list it as a box lot of jewelry box with all kinds of miscellaneous stuff, and it makes people think it's more valuable because it's in the jewelry box. So I just have better luck selling it that way.
Cool. To everybody the possibilities of selling just on eBay. Caesar's Palace wants me to let everybody know that on Black Friday he had 216 orders or sales on that day alone. So he does just eBay. So, yep.
Caesar's Palace does it.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you could do just eBay if you do it right.
That's true.
It's
And I'm
gotta
actually,
work.
what I've mentioned this to Sean in private, and I said it to my wife, and I'm saying it right here. I'm actually thinking about trying a poll doing eBay by itself. It's like I'm already listing it on Bonanza. All I'm doing is relisting everything I have on eBay anyway. And if anything sells on Bonanza, I'm paying them for the fee, adding the ads. And only thing I would keep on Amazon maybe is the books.
Hmm.
So,
Which are long tail items generally, so that's good.
yep.
But also check half.com, because sometimes the books you can move them faster on half.com, which is eBay owned, and then your feedback counts too.
Oh, wow.
Huh.
Okay.
Well, I'll have to look into that one.
Sweet.
Well, unless there's any other questions you can see offhand. Oh, wait, I did mention, I just noticed, I forgot to say, somebody mentioned that about the 1,000 and the 5,000 free listings from eBay starting tomorrow. So I'm sure many people will be up at midnight starting their listings if they get the ad from the 1st to the 4th for the 5,000 free fixed price listings.
Yep.
Midnight. Have fun with that.
I'll set my alarm though.
Well, that's midnight your time, Sean. So you got enough time to rest.
That's true.
You can schedule, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's true, huh? That's right. I always
As
forget
if you gotta make sure you get the acceptance though.
about
Okay, well, to kind of lead into the topic here, I have a question. What was the highest price of an item on consignment that you made for a sale?
It was a chopper motorcycle. I sold for $12,100 on consignment, and yep, and it actually the gentleman that I sold it for gave me 20% of that sale, so that was awesome.
Wow.
Where normally I wouldn't charge that, but he was led to give me that money, so I was led to take it.
Yeah. No, please don't give me that. No.
Yeah, he had to twist your arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please stop twisting my arm. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a fun listing, and when I have a high profile, a big money item, I'll list it on a Thursday about 3 in the afternoon and run it for 10 days. So you get the 2 weekends, and it ends on a Saturday or a Sunday. So I like to do the ones that I want worldwide attention to end about 3 in the afternoon Florida time. So that's Eastern time. And in my experience, that's what works the best. So generally, you know, so many people are shopping on eBay Mobile. I tell people don't stress over the time of day. But if it's a big money, you know, you want a high profile item and increase your odds even more, then that would be the time I would recommend.
Cool.
Yeah, like what I was saying with the listings I did with the ads on the auctions, even though they started at 99 cents and they were going away to freebies for the 10 days, I took advantage of it and I just kept listing things on try to end tonight or next week. And one of the things that within the first day had 2 bids already and it was up to $1.29 and still got 6 days left on it now, so and it's only a pattern.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why research is important. If you know, if the odds are in your favor, then I'll roll the dice and I'll start it low. But if the odds aren't in my favor, I'll start it higher, you know, at a more reasonable price. But I love auctions, and that's why I have so much shipping on Mondays, because I have all these auctions ending on Saturdays and Sundays. Well, Friday, Saturday, Sunday auctions ending. And then I have Monday where I have a lot of shipping to do, and Tuesday. So I actually have 10 people that haven't paid yet. So I had 18 to ship, 10 people haven't paid. And so
Man.
we'll see. But they're easy items to ship, and the majority of my stuff is consignment. So.
Well, that's one of the questions I was going to come up with later. But
Right.
so, any comments in there, Sean? I know it's Chad came back to.
There was the one from Laura Lee. The question was doing consignments, but returns where merchandise does not come back stopped everything. So I'm guessing she had returns that the merchandise wasn't coming back. Yeah, I'm sorry, Laura. I don't know what.
I think she's saying that she's asking, well, how do you handle returns, or
how
like
do
she
you
had.
know?
Oh, she may have had issues. Oh, go ahead.
No. But
well, I was going to say.
You first.
Well, I was just gonna say, I'm thinking she's asking, like, she might also had an issue where the items never returned, even though she did a refund. She didn't wait for her item to return before she did the refund.
Before she did the refund to
the buyer, like, she didn't wait for the item to be in her hands to make sure it was the right item. She might have refunded beforehand.
Oh no. Don't want to do that. Well, I've been doing consignment selling actually since '98, and when I lived in Chicago, I ran an ad in the paper saying, make some extra money for Christmas. It was like in October. Make extra money for Christmas. Let me sell your Beanie Babies on eBay and for you. And back then it was like, 25% commission. And I had this girl come to me who had buckets and buckets of Beanie Babies, and she was just turning 16, and so she wanted me to help her buy a car with these Beanie Babies. So I did it. So I kicked butt, I listed them on eBay, and we made enough money for her to buy a car. And so it was a used car, of course, but it was pretty exciting, and that actually was my first experience with being so successful to help see someone get, their dream of this car. And so she bought her car, and then I started thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to put Beanie Babies away so I can buy cars for my kids. And so so this was like my first lesson in sell when the market's hot. And so I started hoarding Beanie Babies. So I'm like, I've got, Lindsay, Laura, and Tim. They're my 3 kids. So they each have tubs loaded with top-of-the-line Beanie Babies. And I'm thinking, they're going to buy cars one day with these Beanie Babies. So we still have the tubs of Beanie Babies, and they don't want them. They don't want them. So what I've started to do is I buy them gift cards because they want money. So I buy them gift cards, and then I attach it to the Beanie Baby. And then I give them one Beanie Baby at a time back to them.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome.
So I'm slowly giving them back.
Okay,
man.
well, just for the people that don't know, what is consignment, and isn't it similar to being a middleman?
Well, yeah, it'd be like if you're, a consignment store. You're basically a consignment store where people bring items to you, and then you represent the item. So you're responsible for the item. In the eye of the buyer, it's your item, and whatever it sells for, then you have a percentage that you keep, and then split it or whatever percentage you work out. So a consignment seller is another opportunity for another multiple stream of income. I'm all about those multiple streams, and so it actually opens up the door for more income opportunities because you can always say no. And I've said no many times when people called me with their stuff. But back when I started and I ran that ad in the paper, the first one that came to me was the girl with the car that wanted the car, so I helped her get this car. And then I had a couple other people, and then this lady came along, and she had a household full of stuff, which was awesome stuff, and the majority of the stuff that she had were cast iron door stops. And then the market was really hot on, I don't have it checked lately because I've never seen any awesome ones like this woman had. And she had all high-end collectible cast iron door stops. And she kept me so busy that I pulled my ad out of the paper because with her, I just made enough money. So, you know, like the, you may remember the, I Sell It For You on eBay stores. I can't remember what they were called. What were those? Like,
something like that. Sell it for no.
I Sold It, I think, or
There's something similar to that. Yeah, I remember we had one here in town for like 2 months. Yeah, didn't last very long.
My theory is that those stores fail, and consignment sellers, stores that go into the brick and mortar, and I see them pop up around here, and the reason they fail is because they only depend on people bringing them stuff. And you can't survive your business on just sitting around waiting for people to come and bring you stuff, because the good stuff doesn't always come. So you have to have your own stuff to sell in between.
A lot of people can be kind of flaky, you know, not necessarily on purpose, but I mean, you know, I'm going to take this to this, you know, to that place, and oh wait, soccer practice, that's right, you know, and then you forget to take it, you know. So you're not always taking it when you need to take it.
Yeah, and it doesn't come in all the time. It's not on a regular basis. So, you know, 1 week, boom, like last couple weeks ago, I had a guy show up with the two radios and the jewelry music box. He just brought me those 3 items, and just those 3 items brought in almost $3,000 in 3 items. So it was like, if, you know, people just show up. They show up at the right time.
Well, I was wondering, I don't know if any of the viewers are, but what percentage of your business would you say is done by consignment?
What did you say? I'm sorry.
What percentage of your business would you say is done by consignment?
I would say probably 80%.
Wow.
Yeah, because, like, well, it is right now, because I had a lady come in and brought me thousands of crystal pieces, and right now that's what I've been selling. That's what's been going out of here like crazy, is all these crystal pieces. So right now that's what it is, and then you can pretty much tell on my eBay store what's mine and what's not, because my stuff, I generally have a percentage going to a nonprofit. Almost all of my items, 10% goes minimum, goes to a nonprofit. And if they're not, then generally it's a consignment item. Now, some items my husband and I have together, so I have to give him half my money. But he
Dang it.
So some things are ours together. So we bought out this doll collection. Wait till you see it. I'm waiting to get through all of the crystal, and then I'm going to start on the dolls. And our Florida room is just filled with tubs and tubs of collectible dolls from the 70s, 60s. And I can't wait to dig in on it, but him and I went in on that together.
Nice.
Anything in the comments, Sean?
There's a lot. Did you mention how you started getting into consigning? You know what I'm trying to say.
Well, I got into it because I ran the ad in the paper, because I saw the opportunity to sell things forever. And it's like when I'm teaching eBay, I tell people, you start selling on eBay and your friends and family come out of the woodwork, and they think their stuff's worth millions. They want you to sell their stuff, and they'll say, the book says it's worth millions. They know it's worth millions, so it must be worth millions, and they want you to sell it. And then when you don't sell it for millions, now you're not friends anymore.
Yeah. I've been passing up a lot, mostly because a lot of them, I did one consignment, and I was like, oh, I'll just be nice and just charge like 10%, and not really realize. I knew it'd be a lot of work, but I didn't realize, once I got through it, I was like, damn. So then I upped it to like 50%, and then I just like, I told them, like, one person had NASCAR stuff. I was like, it doesn't sell as good as it did in the past. You're not going to get that much for it. I'm going to charge you 50% on top of fees, on top of the fees, because I don't pay the fees. I have them pay it. You're not going to get that much for it. And then I showed her like Facebook and being able to sell on Facebook, and she's been going gangbusters on Facebook, selling all kinds of stuff. She's like, oh, I'm so happy. This is so much fun, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, there you go. And then it's, there's no fees. It's she goes, but it's a lot of work. I'm like, oh yeah. I said, now you can tell people that I don't just sit around and do nothing. Even though I don't work as hard as I should. But yeah. But yeah, it's cool. Though. I mean, in the end game there, it worked out really well. But yeah, I try not to do for one of that reason, because they think it's worth thousands of dollars, and
right.
Sorry, here I'll show you. Solds is not very good.
That's the thing. So I try to educate people and say, okay, this is how you look up completed listings. So you show me, and they'll say, well, I see it on eBay, it's worth millions. Well, yeah, they're asking millions, but show me where they sold it for millions, and then they can't do it.
Exactly.
So the thing is about being a consignment seller, it's really important to educate people, because I had a lady call me the other day, and I'm driving in my car, and she's going, oh, I've got these platters that are from, she was calling it like Boone. I never heard of it before. And I'm going, well, what exactly do you have? And she said, oh, they're Boone from the stoneware. And they're platters, and the whole time she's talking to me, and all of a sudden I go, I didn't know that Prada made platters. Prada made dishes. And she goes, what? And I go, did you say Prada? And she goes, no, I said Prada. She was from Boston. I couldn't understand her. The whole time I'm going, wow, Prada makes dishes? But it was the way she said plata.
Yeah.
And so anyhow, once I got home, and I went straight to look it up on eBay, and $19.99 on a good day, And so I called her up, and I said, yeah, you said that you saw these on eBay. And she goes, well, you know what? After I got off the phone with you, I went and looked them up like you suggested, and I see they're not selling. I said, that's right. So I said, why don't you take them down to the local consignment shop and put them on their shelf? So that's the thing. You have to educate people how to look stuff up, or you'll be in that situation, Sean. And I love the way that you did that with telling them about go sell it on Facebook.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth much.
And she sold them super fast. So, it's even better. I mean, it was like better than I even thought, So
great.
Really cool.
And it might have been just a hot topic, hot piece in that area. Making your on that racetrack.
Yeah, I think part of it is she listed it on, I believe, on a Sunday, and that's when the races are. So I'm wondering if that had something to do with it. But that's just guessing. But I don't know.
But it worked. That's the main thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And I saw this
Laura,
question asked in the
Laura Lee was clarifying a little bit. Says when eBay does not have the buyer return the item, how do you handle that with consignments? Do you basically do you pay the person the person you got the item from the full amount, or how does that work?
Yep, you're responsible for it. So whatever it's sold for, you have to pay them. And luckily, I've only had one return. And the one return that I had already paid my person. So I explained to them, now when you see that on eBay, that's mine. That belongs to me now, because I already paid you for it. So And sure enough, I sold it for more than, and I can't help it, you know, it's just, that's the way it goes. So you want to be challenged, but you are responsible for it. It's not their fault. If you know, that's why international shipping, I only use the global shipping program and express mail priority. I don't use anything else because they're the safest route, especially selling on consignment, because you're responsible for those items.
Mm.
Well, I saw this question in the chat, and it's one of my questions as well. What wait, no, what is the normal percentage breakdown of consignment? Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be your business, but I mean, overall, since I know you probably know other consignment sellers that might have different prices.
Well, I think that the average is probably between 30 and 50, you know, somewhere in there. Everybody's different, of course. Now, the thing is, when you're a consignment seller, you want to make it as simple as you can for your business, and so that you're not crazy with math. So it's just so much easier. I just do 50-50, so under $1,000. So whatever the item sells for, I tell them whatever you see on eBay that sells for, you're getting half of that. And then the eBay fees come out of my half. Now I use a software program called Easy Auction Tracker, and I'd be happy to, anybody contacts me, I have a referral link actually. I'd be happy to share with you. And I've been using that for years. And actually, they were a guest on my radio show. And it helps me so much. I don't have to do any math. It figures everything out for me, and it's a spreadsheet already built, and it's made for consignment sellers. It's brilliant. And so I do the 50-50 thing, and then once it goes over 5,000 or between 1,000 and 5,000, then it's 35%, and they pay all fees. So the auction tracker program figures all that stuff out. So I have a whole list of consignment people, and then I print out their invoice, I write their check because I pay them by check. And then I go to PayPal and I transfer just that amount to my checking account, and that's how I keep track of it. And then I mail them a check. Now, I only had one lady that wanted PayPal, and it actually was kind of a pain to keep track of it. I personally like writing the check, old school, I guess, but I like writing out the check and then having the record of that for my accountant. And then at the end of the year, I can print out the auction tracker form, and it shows, okay, maybe this month it shows I made $10,000, but actually 5 of that was only taken home, you know, or, you know, with shipping fees and all that come out of my 5,000. So you kind of have to be able to keep good records to be able to explain it to the tax man. Otherwise, you know, you're going to get into a situation, which I've been in before, where you're paying the tax man back quite a few bucks.
Yeah, I know usually when I see in the groups that I'm in, when they ask questions like that, I say 60-40, because you're putting your business reputation on the line, where the buyer, the person you're selling for, has nothing but the item at risk.
Yep, so our local consignment store, they actually do that 60-40. And I just, you know, have never done that. I've always just done 50-50, and I just cover myself on all of my listings and insure things that you have to insure, try to ship priority mail, everything under $100, and, you know, so I've had good luck with it. And I shipped some of that crystal. I shipped big, high-end crystal to Spain, and I shipped a huge box of crystal to Spain, and got there and actually it was an APO, which some people are afraid to use. Yeah. And it was fine. The APO was fine. Everything went smooth. They got it in Spain and left me great feedback.
I had an APO a few months ago. I don't remember even where I went, but I was like a little bit like that. I was like, oh man, hope it gets there. And everything worked out great, but there was always that little bit of, until I finally got that feedback, there was that little bit of in the back of your mind.
Right. Right.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask this question, and we'll go back and see if there's any questions from the group. Who chooses the sale price, and how do you handle issues when something either sells below the price that you want or isn't selling at all?
Well, I actually, in my contract, I tell, they're bringing their stuff to me because I'm the professional. So I tell them it's in my best interest to try to make as much money as possible. So if I decide it's going to go on auction, it's going to go on auction. If I decide it's going to go on a fixed price, it's going to be my decision. So I have to get their trust 100% that if they don't trust me, I don't want their stuff. So I had one couple one time, they were bringing me stuff and everything was going smooth. And then all of a sudden they contacted me and said, we were wondering if you, because we're going to be bringing you more stuff, if you would drop your percentage down some. And I'm like, excuse me?
It's like,
excuse me?
yeah.
So I said, well, you know what? I can't do that, but I know a lady in town that only charges 30%. She has about 300 feedback. I think you should go to her. I think you should take all your stuff over to her. So I gave her phone number and her contact information, everything, and was like, okay, bye-bye. So
Gave it to the competition. Give the headache away.
So the thing is, I mean, you're the professional. You're the one that knows how I'm going to turn this into money and what risk your business is going to take. So like Sean said, it's your reputation on the line and, how you're going to do it. So I understand, Chris, what you're saying with the 60-40, but I don't know. Some people, I know when people call me and then they'll say, oh, by the way, what do you charge? I'm like, oh, 50-50. Oh, wow, that's a bit steep. Well, yeah, but there's a lady down the road. She'll do it for 30. I give them her information because I probably don't want to do business with them. So I can be picky. I don't need your stuff. I can go out and find stuff, no problem. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything in the comments, Sean? Any questions?
There were some questions about Facebook, which I answered. Hopefully I answered clear enough. But let's see. There was a lot of talk between everybody about how much percentages and who does what. Somebody's like, family can be your worst clients.
No, family can be good clients, but you have to teach them how to look up completed listings. And then they have a realistic, like my Aunt Sally, she brings me stuff all the time, but I taught her how to look stuff up before she brings it. So that's the whole key. But then I have my mom who doesn't have a computer and she still, has a dumb phone that she flips. So she.
That's pretty much my mom. Yeah, flip phone and no computer. And
my mom doesn't have anything to do with Facebook or anything, and so she still picks up stupid stuff from the thrift store. Oh, look what I found! I think this is really good for eBay. And I'm like, no, Mom, that's really not good.
Well, we kind of covered this, but I don't know if we want to go into further. Have you ever ran into serious problems selling consignment?
The only serious problem I ever run into was when somebody brought me their stuff and then they went home and bid on it. And so that can be really bad. It's illegal, and you can get in trouble. You can get your eBay account shut down for shill bidding. So it's really important that you want to have in your contract that there's no shill bidding, and then explain to them. I even have that highlighted in bright yellow marker when I hand them my contract, and I go over it. in detail, because it puts your business at risk big time. So that was probably the only bad situation that I ran into, and I was shocked that someone even did that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you know what? That person's not on eBay anymore.
That's true too.
Luckily, I know people. So,
Yeah, no doubt.
so they're not on eBay anymore, and you won't be doing business anymore. But definitely, so make sure that you're very clear in that. That's something to really pay attention to.
Okay. Sean, any questions before I move on again?
Well, that one was kind of answered already. No, go ahead. If you have a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my next one's more like I can combine a lot of them. So, but like when you have first part of the question is when you have your consignment buyer or seller come to you, do you store the stuff at your house? So when you have a buyer question on eBay, you can look at whatever information you need, or do you have the person you're selling for keep the stuff?
Well, it depends on the stuff. Most of the time, I insist they have to leave their stuff with me, because I've run into situations where, okay, I've sold it or I have a question and I can't look at it. So I'm really strict about your stuff has to be left with me. Now, if it's a really, really expensive little piece of jewelry, I may feel comfortable letting them take it as long as they're close by or they understand we have a good contract agreement that they're available to get it to me if I need to ship it right away. So I've done both. And then, of course, if they have, like I sold a tractor engine one time, and he lived way out on a farm, and if I have to drive to them, I actually charge them a fee. So depending where they are, I'll charge $50 minimum, could be $100. This particular guy had to drive out to Timbuktu, and so I charged him $100 because I had to go out and take pictures of his farm tractor engine, and I certainly wasn't bringing it home. So
Come on, just load it up in your van.
So I went out there and I took pictures, all the pictures, and took notes. This was before I even had a mobile phone. And I took notes on everything and then, got as much information as I could from him. Then I went home and then I got it listed. And I don't remember what it sold for, but it was a good amount of money. And then we sold it to a man from Wisconsin that drove all the way up here with his big rig and semi and went out there and picked it up. But so sometimes if items are too big, I've also had people I had this one guy with art that was like an iron piece of art that he created, and there was no way. It was really big and heavy, so I drove over to his house, but I charged him a fee. So I'm going to charge you a fee, and then that's non-refundable, that fee. So it still is my time and energy to have to go. So that's another thing you can do. So make that clear, too, when you're doing your little advertisement for consignment, that you charge a fee if I have to come to you, but you're willing to come and pick up stuff, but there would be a fee.
Okay. Anything in the comments, Sean?
No, not yet. A lot of talk between themselves. Yeah.
Chitter chatter.
Okay. Would you recommend consignment selling for new resellers?
For new?
Yeah, like if say they weren't able to necessarily go get the stuff themselves, like most people can, but like maybe they're disabled and they can't drive and they can't walk, but they still want to sell on eBay. Maybe have somebody do the consignment for them, where they bring their stuff to them like they do you.
So you're saying if the person can't walk, then I would go get their stuff?
No, like say someone that wanted to sell couldn't necessarily walk, or so they might have their customer bring their items to them, but they're making new to reselling altogether. Would it be
Okay.
a good
Gotcha.
plan?
Okay. So I think that it's a good idea to advertise it because you can still have your own rules. If you know, I was disabled, I would still advertise that I'm a consignment seller, but they have to bring the products to you. That's all there is to it. There's nothing wrong with that, and I'm sure people wouldn't mind. And if it's something that they have to, if they say, well, I can't bring it to you, well, I'm sorry, but that can you get a hold of someone? But that's how my business is. That's just it. So, like those drop-off stores, they never went and picked stuff up for people. It was a drop-off store.
Mhm.
I had a contract with it was a storage facility, and they came to me and asked me if I would teach them how to do eBay. So I went down there and I actually made them sign a contract with me for a year so that I would have a regular income with them for a year. And then I went in, I trained the staff, I set up their computer system, and they had created an eBay drop-off store in partnership with their storage unit, because it's a perfect marriage for a storage facility to have an eBay drop-off store. It's brilliant. So, except I didn't know that their storage facility was actually failing, and the people that ran it were from, I don't know, Rhode Island or somewhere. And so, come to find out, their storage facility was actually failing, and long story short, they ended up going bankrupt. But the good thing was that all the people that I trained how to do eBay actually went off and were able to have their own business then. So they were actually able, even though they were out of job working at the storage facility, they left there with the knowledge of eBay, and still to this day they're successful eBay sellers.
Sweet. Cool.
Okay.
Hey,
And
Tinker's Row Retails is going back to about wanting to lower the percentage and stuff from cosigners. Said, why be offended by a cosigner looking for a deal? That is what we resellers do. Depending on how much profit I was making, I may have offered a better deal. And he says, I would think that if you continue to send business down the street, you're creating a larger competitor. Any comments on that?
Yeah, no, I don't feel that way because of my reputation and my business. So if your business is better or whatever, you have a bigger following when you have more subscribers. And also I tell people, I don't just put your stuff on and then say, okay, hope for the best. I also go out there and market it, and I'm advertising it, and I'm putting it on YouTube or wherever I need to. So I'm also out there hustling to try to make the absolute most amount of money as possible. Whereas my competitor, they're just putting it on and hoping for the best. They're not marketing it. So I think that that in itself would help me to stand above the rest. So
Cool.
anything else, Sean?
Yeah, Alberto. I think Alberto's doing a little bit of trolling here. Would asking for a 5% to 95% be a good rate for consignment?
5%.
5% to 95%. Yeah.
Well, I would do 5% on probably a $45,000 car or something.
Yeah. Mansion in the suburb or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have done 10% actually on trucks. So it just depends. If it's we're talking a Lamborghini or something, I have no problem with 5%.
Yeah. No doubt. Got to drive it first and make sure it works.
Okay, well, we covered up my other question, which was about who keeps what, picking it up and whatnot for when it sells. Anything else, Sean? Like I said, I got about 15 or
well,
few more questions.
I just want to add to that, Chris, because if you list an item and say, okay, my research shows, and I'll tell my person, they have to trust me and everything, and then if I list it on an auction and say I listed it at a high starting price, and then it didn't work. So at the end of the week, okay, that didn't work. So now I've got to relist it, and I'm going to list it as a buy it now with a different price, and then I'm going to have make an offer. And then I'm going to have that up for 30 days. So people who come to me who want money quick, I generally just buy them out. And I'll say, if you need money right away, I can buy you out, and then you don't have to wait. Otherwise, you have to trust me. I may do auction, I may do fixed price. It could be on for 3 months. It's hard to say. So I just need them to be patient with me. So that's another thing that your price between auction and fixed price is going to make a difference on every item.
Okay, well, you should said that. I just came up with another question. That's not on my list, so good thing. What is the longest you've waited, or a customer has waited for you to sell something before you said, this is unsellable, either I'll buy it out from you so that way you can get the money, or you give it back to them?
Oh gosh, I don't know how long. It's been a while. I know it's happened though, but it's been a while when I had to actually give something back. I would say probably no more than 6 months, because I don't list anything myself for that long. So if it's not sold in 6 months, it's out of here. And if someone brings me something like that on consignment, I've had to lower the price, but I really don't think it was longer than maybe 4 months tops would have been the longest. And that was Louis Vuitton luggage, and we had really high end. I had 4 pieces of Louis Vuitton luggage, and so I was like holding out for top dollar, and so it finally got the prices I wanted, but it was a longer process. And then she also brought me some Walt Disney stereograph kind of signed stuff that we ended up selling for $145, I think, a piece. But we started off asking, $300, and then slowly went down. And then I was going to England. I was going on vacation and going to shut my store down, so I just dropped prices on absolutely everything, and we ended up selling them. But you can always come down. That's what I tell people. I'm sure you all know that as resellers. You start high, and then you can always come down.
Do you sell a lot of cars or any of that?
Well, cars are tricky because you're not a car dealer, so
Sure.
there's a law in every state. So you have to, if you're thinking about selling cars, make sure you check the law in your state on how many cars you're allowed to sell, because technically you're allowed to sell your own car, and there's a rule about selling cars for other people before you have to go get your auto dealer's license. And then if you're thinking about selling a lot of cars, then it's in your best interest to go take that course. It's like, I don't know, $200 or something. And then get your auto dealer's license so that you can legally sell cars, and then you could really advertise on consignment. I think ours in Florida were allowed 3 a year, and that's, I don't sell a lot of cars. It's been a while since I've sold some, but I've sold antique cars for people. I've sold I helped out this one school teacher that actually was moving to California, and she needed to sell her car. So I sold it on eBay to a guy from Canada, and the guy from Canada sent a truck to come and pick it up, and he didn't pick it up for a month. And so I charged him storage fee for, and so that's something else. When you have something really big, and if people can't pick it up right away, you can charge them a storage fee. But Cars are good. There's good money in cars. There's no doubt. I mean, a car sells every 90 seconds on eBay.
Man.
Okay. Since we already know you store some of your client stuff with you, how do you keep them separate from your stuff? Like, do you have it in a separate section of the room, or?
Yeah, no, usually what I do when I have a lot of consignment, well, of course, right now I know all the crystal's not mine, so that's easy. But this summer, before I left for England, I was bombarded with consignment. I had 2 girls listing for me. I had over 1,000 items listed. We were just kicking butt. And so what I started to do was I would put initials at the end of every title. So every title had so-and-so's initials, and then all I had to send them to search for their stuff was the search, go to your store and put in their initials, and then up would come all of their stuff. So it made it really easy to keep track of whose stuff was whose just by including all those initials in that title.
Okay. Anything in the comments, Sean?
Can you clear up a little bit as far as the storage facility you were talking about? Were they taking the items from units that were in default, or they just literally had people that just dropped them off there?
Yeah, it was a setup. So we set up a desk and another computer, and it had its own entity in the storage facility. So people would come in and pay their storage bills or whatever, and they could drop stuff off to sell on eBay. So it was totally separate. No, it's like illegal. You can't, get into their storage stuff. But they did have some storage auctions that I did go, hang out and watch how all that works. But the thing is, it just opens up another door of income for the storage facility while they're sitting there, doing nothing. Then they could also have a table set up for people to come in, and it could be people that, okay, maybe they're running late on their rent, and they could say, well, I got some stuff in here that I could sell. We'll bring it out and we'll sell it and we'll split the money, kind of thing. We'll take it off your bill. And then the nice thing about the storage unit was there was plenty of storage space. So we had one storage unit that was just full of shipping supplies, and then we had another one full of shelves that was all of the inventory for all the stuff listed. It was a great system.
Okay. I saw a question from Tinker Rose, Sean, if you saw it.
But what's that, the story about eBay?
Yep.
Let's see.
How
That's what
does
I just
that
put in
happen?
our chat. I just put that in our chat.
Well, I figured we could do one quick one before I go off.
Go for it.
Are we
This is
done?
one of my questions. Cause oh no, I still got about 9 more questions, but
Oh.
figured instead of staying right on, getting too repetitive with questions, figured somebody wanted to know if you can tell us a funny story about a sale on eBay.
Well, gosh, I don't know. I've had so many. Back in the day, we used to list really crazy stuff. I can remember one time I listed Saints in a Bottle. And it was
I remember those. I want to find another one of those.
And I had, and what it was, I came up with the idea because I had 3 saint pendants, like the people were on their chains. They were saints, and people, they actually, sorry.
Yeah, that's hard to ignore that side one when I type in there.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
So, because I have to have my glasses on. I have to read.
Yeah.
I have to go in and read. Okay, so saints. So, anyways, I took these saints and I put them in a little glass jar. That's what it was, saints in a jar. And I put them in a little glass jar, and then I put it on eBay. 3 saints in a jar. Really good luck, and help your life. And so anyhow, I put them up for auction, and they went for a couple $100. So it was pretty funny. But the best one was when I had, there was a guy in Arizona, and he listed a toilet paper roll on eBay, and he called it the traveling toilet paper roll. And it actually came with a little sleeping bag. And I added the sleeping bag. His came with a journal. And so once you got the toilet paper roll, you were supposed to write in a journal about the toilet paper roll's journey, and then he had a little video clip of the traveling toilet paper roll. And so I won it for $11. And so I really upped it, and I gave it a crazy listing. And I actually have it saved in the archives on a web page, and I'll have to see if I can find it. But we had this little traveling toilet paper roll, and that's when I got him a sleeping bag. And then I made this whole story about how he wanted to be on Jay Leno, because we were trying to get Jay Leno's attention. So we had traveling toilet paper roll wants to be on Jay Leno. And so actually I got it pulled for keyword spamming Jay Leno. So I got in trouble. And then I had to relist it. And anyways, it sold for $128.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh,
it was crazy. Crazy. And then I had a baseball bat, and it was donated from, I was on this talk show, it was the news, and you can find it in the archives. It was Jacksonville news station, and they came to my house and they made this whole video. And so when they were here, I said, well, do you have anything I could list on eBay for charity for you and use an eBay Giving Works? So the radio show lady gave me a baseball bat that was signed by these baseball players from Jacksonville. I don't know the team, but it was all signed. And then I said to her, well, what kind of nonprofit? And she said, well, I was adopted. Could we pick a nonprofit for adoption? And I said, sure. So I found one in Florida. I picked it. Well, put it on eBay, 100%, the baseball bat, to charity. And so this guy from Southern Florida, I don't remember where, Southern Florida won it. It went for $40. And when he won it, he said, I don't want it. He paid me. He said, but don't ship it to me. Go ahead and list it again and see if you can raise more money for charity. And I was like, oh, wow, this is cool. So I listed it again, and then somebody else won it, and they did the same thing. They said, I don't want it. Here's your money. Go ahead and list it again. And so it turned out, it was crazy. So it turned out into this big ordeal where I kept advertising each person that won it. I would advertise them in the listing, advertise their eBay store. So it turned out into a marketing thing. So we started calling it it's the 10th inning of the baseball bat, and we go, we're in the 10th inning, and then it had 14 listings, and it raised, I don't know, almost $5,000 for charity.
Oh, wow.
And then finally, the last person, this lady from Ohio, she came along and says, oh, I'm tired of looking at that, just send it to me. So she ruined the whole ballgame.
Oh, man. Hey, Mark Welker says, Walking Picker, I have a newfound respect for you. Hats off to you.
Thanks, Mark. Not sure exactly what kind of respect you got, but thanks for telling me.
Cool.
Okay, my next question is, how do you handle returns? Is your relationship with your seller, to the point where they have to pay you back the money, or do you say, okay, I already paid you, it's mine type of deal?
Well, if the time has allotted. So, like, say if we have the return before I've paid the person, and I contact them and say, sorry, we've have a return on this. You're going to have to wait. I'm going to have to relist it. So, take it off your list because it's going to be relisted again. So we have had that happen. And then another time where I shipped, this Russian thing. Actually, I have it listed now. And I shipped this Russian thing, and it was weird, but it came back. And I could never get a hold of the person again. So I don't know what was up with that. It was like they had me send it to a shipping center, or no, they had me ship it to a hotel. And so I shipped it to a hotel, and the person never got it or something, and it came back to me like weeks and weeks later, and I had already paid my consignment person. And so I explained to her, when you see that listed again, that's actually mine because I've paid you for it. So I just wanted to let you know. And so now I have it back on eBay. So that's another option, which usually when that's happened to me, I've made more money in the end. But it's the risk you take. If you've already paid them out, you can't ask them for the money back. So generally, I just pay the first of every month. So I always tell people I write checks the first week of the month. And then, if there's just a few things that haven't been paid for or haven't been shipped, then I'll go ahead and add those. But if there's a lot of them, then I'll leave all those off.
Okay. And what type of products are good consignment items? Would you recommend not consigning certain items?
Well, when you're advertising that you're a consignment seller, of course you're asking for high-end stuff. So when people call me, the first thing I tell them is I only accept items that are valued at $100 or more. If you have anything less than that, then I don't mind a few low-dollar items as long as some of them are, $100 or more. Then you're okay. Like this crystal. Most of the crystal was well over $100. Some were close. Some went for $10, $15. So I don't mind a few of those high, low balls. And right now I have a check ready to go to her for like $2,300. So that's after, me paying her 50% of all the items, so that's pretty good. But if you just explain to people that you don't accept low-end stuff. But I had a lady come to me who really needed money, and it was a mom, and she needed money, and so she said she came to me and she had like garbage bags and garbage bags full of clothes. And so I was like, oh gosh, I don't know. And so I started to go through some of the bags, and they were all high-end blue jeans, high-end, maybe $30, $40 a pair, $20, maybe some were $10. But there was no way I was going to do consignment on all of that for her. So I said, well, how much do you want a bag? And she's like, well, I just really need money, and da-da-da. So long story short, I gave her $10 a bag, a garbage bag, and she was fine with that. So I think she left her with like $80. So it was kind of a pain, but it was fun because then I got to sort, and then what I did was I make box lots. And when I make box lots, I take the box first. So I get my box ready first, and then I start making my lots. So anyways, but that's another show.
Hey, there's no saints in a jar, but on eBay, but there is a zombie Christmas Santa head in a jar. Yeah, that was quite a shock.
That's funny. Yeah,
Okay,
we put all kinds of things in jars.
Yeah.
I was going to ask also for somebody that's new, how easy is it to get into consignment? Like, what are the general steps to take if you want to get into it, besides the advertising?
Well, the first thing you need is a good contract. That is a must. So something that Judge Judy would approve of.
Oh my word.
So you want to make sure you have a good contract, and then
Yeah.
you want to. eBay used to make it easy for us because they had the trading assistant program, and it was nice because when they had that program, you could just opt in, and then they would advertise for you. So it was nice. So now they don't have that anymore because they're selling on consignment. So now that eBay's selling on consignment, it makes competition a little bit more tough for all of us. But they're not in all areas, and they're not marketing it, not advertising it to publicly. So it still is available for us to get out there and hustle and market yourself. That's really what you've got to do. So, but first thing is set up your contract, and then you have that ready. So once you have your contract ready, then you could even start with some family and friends, but teach them how to research.
Okay. I'll ask this one more question, and then we'll go back to the group chat, and then I'll have 5 more after this one. What about security-wise? How would you protect yourself from things like fraud or selling stolen goods, or sellers that may even threaten to cheat you?
Good question. I get more phone calls. I just moved here from Miami. I have all these purses. Would you sell them for me?
I know.
And it's like, really? Where'd you get them from? Oh, they're just, I just had them. I don't know what to do with them. I need some money. And, well, do you have receipts for them? Well, no. Well, if you have, well, where did you get them from? Oh, I've just had them a long time. I don't even remember. Really? So, no, sorry. Won't take them. So the thing is, if someone comes to me and I don't know you, then I've got to have a receipt. Bottom line, I got to have a receipt. If I come to your house, or I kind of been able to research you a little bit, and maybe you're a world traveler, and you're in politics or whatever, I can usually tell if that Louis Vuitton is going to be legit or not. Or if they don't have a receipt, but I want to know the story behind it. And my husband, he can spot a liar a mile away, and so I usually have people talk to my husband first. So he's really, really good at reading people, and so he'll talk to them usually, and then he'll tell me, no, don't get involved, or don't do it, or it'll be fine. So.
All right, John, anything in the comments? Any questions?
Did you have a lawyer help you write the contract or anything? Or?
No, I didn't, but I got a lot of advice, and I went and searched the internet. Anybody can do it, and put in consignment contract, and just start creating your own. And then it's all about the terminology, and that's what I did. I just went out and I started creating my own. And then, of course, I did have the advantage of the attorney at the consignment shop was able to give me a lot of ideas on that. So you might want to, if you have a family member or something, but I wouldn't spend money on it.
Do they still have the eBay trading posts?
Pardon me?
Do they still have eBay trading posts?
No, it was the trading assistant program, and no, they deleted it. It's gone.
Yeah, they have the valet system or something like that.
The what?
It's kind of like they have the valet.
Oh yeah, that's the valet. Yeah, and you get you get like 70 or 75% of whatever it sells for. So it's, who can compete with that?
Yeah.
So isn't that kind of like what they're doing?
Yeah, they
Amazon
send it
FBA
back.
type of thing. Send it to them, and they sell it. And if it doesn't sell,
well, if it doesn't sell, they'll send it back to you, but you have to pay $10 to get it back. And then, or you can sign off, and then they'll donate it to whatever nonprofit they're supporting in that community of wherever you're sending it to. It's kind of like with us sending our stuff to Kentucky. they have valet centers, and then the valet center actually determines they choose a nonprofit in that area, and they just stick with them for some reason. I don't know why they don't like say, okay, this month we'll use this nonprofit, and this month we'll use this one. I just wish that I kind of encourage them to do that.
All right. Anything in the comments, Sean? Any questions?
There was another one.
Other ones?
Actually, a couple, but let's see. There's one that said he was told that the leasing or by a leasing manager of a strip mall that the eBay drop-off biz that was in the strip mall was shut down by North Carolina State Auction Licensing Board for auctioning without a license. And they said that was maybe a question that might have been asked already, but that's not in the question form, so I'm not sure. Yeah.
Well, you know, that could be. That could be. I don't know, but every state's different about the auction kind of rules. So that's something that you probably have to check on.
And they're rioting in the streets because they want the toad to come back.
They want what?
They want the Toadcast to come back.
It's only been gone 2 weeks.
Stacy C said you mentioned you had 2 girls listing for you. Did you open separate eBay accounts, or did you give them access to your eBay?
No, I used a program called InkFrog. And it's a program called InkFrog, and you pay a monthly fee. And then I would let them log into InkFrog, and then they would list there, but they wouldn't go live. So nothing went live until I had the final say. So everything went into a folder on InkFrog, and it was really convenient. So then they never had to know my eBay ID. They never logged into my eBay account.
Very cool.
Okay, my next question, I know you said a couple more, but I want to try getting through mine at least before we hit the second hour. Consignment seems like a big undertaking. Would you say it's worth the hassle? Well, I'm sure it's worth it for you because you're already getting 80% of your business is doing that. But for somebody that's new?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Like I said, you can always say no. Because why not? It's not something that happens all the time. So somebody may come along with that Gucci watch, or I had someone. My husband doesn't do consignment at all, but somebody came along and contacted him with a Chanel watch, and it was worth $3,000, and they had the receipt and everything. So otherwise, he don't go near consignment, but that day he did. So.
Well, you'd figure he watched you do it enough times that he should pick up the tricks and say, okay, I can do it with her. If not, she's there to back me up.
He actually takes some of his stuff to Jacksonville to let someone else sell it for him on consignment.
Okay. Okay,
Awesome.
well, then I'm assuming...
You know why? Because they
my
only
next
charge
question you've been already answered. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, he found a guy in Jacksonville that only charges 30%. So I'm like, just take it to him then. I don't care.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, my next question is, we basically already answered that with the other one, but could someone sustain themselves doing consignment full-time?
No. Unless you have, like, my, those are bids coming in.
Very cool.
Unless you have someone like that I've got with this crystal, but that's going to run out. But they're a store that went out of business, so we're eventually going to run out of stuff. So right now I'm looking good, but it's gonna run out sooner or later, and then we have to wait for the next person to come along with stuff. So.
Okay.
You can't depend on it.
All right. Do you do research consignment items, or do you have the original seller do it for the facts, so you can like double check their facts? Because what if somebody comes to you? Oh, I can say, like, say someone comes to you saying this was a guitar, like my wife said to me. What if somebody said this was a guitar played by Bon Jovi, and he gave it to me? How do you verify that type of thing?
Yeah, unless they can show me a photograph
Yeah.
of it, and they've got a really detailed story, and if I believe them, maybe. But I had somebody one time came to me with pictures that they said that they took personally of the Ramones, and if they were actually the girl was in one of the pictures that brought them to me when she was younger, so it was obvious these were rare Ramone kind of pictures, but they didn't sell great.
Really?
No, they weren't that big of money, but I believed her because she was in the picture.
Yeah.
I went to a storage unit the other day, and a guy called me and wanted to sell out the storage unit. And so I went there to look at everything, and everything was practically QVC stuff. So it was there were like rows and rows. Like I guess the mom, she was in a nursing home now, and they emptied her house, and she was one of those crazy people. My grandma was the same, where she'd buy like 5 of everything, 5 crock pots, 5 of everything. And then nobody'd want them, Say, Grandma, why do you buy all this stuff? Oh, but it's fun.
Yeah.
But nobody wants this stuff. Oh, I don't care if they want it or not. I just like buying it.
Yeah.
So anyhow, there's a lot of people that do that. But so I'm at the storage unit, and they've got all this, walks and, all kinds of QVC kind of stuff. And then there were some binoculars and some interesting stuff, but there was no way. They wanted like $3,000 for the whole thing.
Oh man.
And I was like, do you know how long it would take me to move all this crap? Because
No doubt. Holy moly.
Okay, Sean, let's see if there's anything in the comments, and we've got 20 minutes left.
Yeah, it's one Wolf. What's up, man? How's it going? Welcome. I haven't seen you in a while. Is it if given the wrong ad and it is returned and resent at your expense, is that a loss for a tax write-off?
Sure.
And then how do you have to have an auction license to co-sign items? I wouldn't think so, right?
Well, I don't. So you just have to check with your local kind of law.
Yeah, as you said earlier, each state has their own law, so for all we know, breaking the law by doing auctions on eBay.
So who's going to turn me in now?
Right?
Let's see, anything else? Well, thanks, Chad. I see the chat. Good show. Sean, who was it that said that they had more found regrets for me? Did they find what regrets they found?
What?
Sorry, dude, you're cutting out.
You cut out.
I was asking if Mark Walker responded to my question about. He said he found more regrets for me.
Uh-huh.
And I was just wondering if he responded, because I said I didn't know exactly.
Nah, haven't seen any of that.
Okay. You see anything else in there?
Sabina says urgent. Just had a person buying my Bulova watch. Now they would like to cancel. How does she have to do this hour, I guess? Please help. Laura Lee said, let those go. Would rather cancel now than have to deal with the stuff later on. More like, yeah.
Yeah, you just go in and cancel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I know that's another thing that some people are complaining about. They're like, how come we're getting ready to cancel so soon? I said, well, eBay, so I said right on one post, eBay allows them to now cancel within an hour of an auction and or a sale by it now ending.
Now, could you put in cancels? Is there a place to put where they change their mind? Does that
Yeah,
affect your defects and all that?
yeah, there's an option for that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's different now.
Uh,
So
Yeah, the
you
buyer
just
changed
click on to cancel it, and then there's an option there saying the buyer's requested.
okay.
and no, that doesn't affect your defect.
Right. It won't.
Yeah. And also, so everybody knows, no meet and greet this Wednesday. Golden Finger Picker is going to be in Orlando with well, of course, the Pickin' Queen and Ronnie Hart. So they're going to be going to Disney World.
And I want to get this out before I forget. I was going to say at the beginning of the show, if you haven't watched my 350 subscriber contest video, please do it. It turned out to be an hour long. I'm giving away a 35mm photographer's handbook as the prize. There is rules on how to win. I already had 2 people go through the rules and did it correctly. I'd like to have at least 1 or 2 people try to win this prize. In fact, here's a copy of the book again for people that wanted to know.
Cool.
And it does have pictures in it of various camera parts and stuff like that, so you can even use it to find things while you're out picking.
Mm-hmm.
So all you have to do is watch that video within the first 30 minutes, or not even 30 minutes. I give a couple of times I say what you have to do to win. I'd like to at least have 100 of you, of my subscribers, try to win.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, a third of my viewers, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah. I'm not eligible, so obviously I can't try. So.
Right, you're the only one that's not. You're the only one that's not eligible.
Yep.
Where do you
That's
go?
because of you being on here. That's the only channel. It's the one that was right before this one, called 300 Contest Time 350 subscribers. And then you watch the video and what it gives you the rules of what you're gonna have to do. And then, well, I'm gonna say it here too. You have to go like my Facebook page if you haven't already, which is Walking Picker on Facebook. And then you have to get the reason why my nickname is Walking Picker. So if you don't know, you can rewatch the first episode of the R show to find out. I'm sure I said it in a couple other videos too. So if you are a loyal subscriber and watcher of the show, you'll see where we have stated it.
And I take bribes, and my PayPal is.
Okay, any more questions for Danna in the last 15 minutes?
Okay.
Don't want to take away from the time with her.
I'm good.
I know how valuable her time is, especially when she's got shipping to do.
Yep, I just had a couple more people pay, so.
Sweet. Yeah. And don't forget Collector's Catacomb on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. now. Wow, cool. Chad will be there on Thursday.
Well, one other thing, I've got the Power Selling Mom Radio back up, so and it launches 1 week from today. So with the guy that does all of the auctions, that he goes to airports and the post office, all the stuff that we ship that gets lost goes to auction.
Oh, cool.
gets collected and then goes to auction. And so he's going to share information about all of that.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That's powersellingmomradio.com.
Okay, well, we may have to have some listen to it in the archives, or we might have to watch the Golden Fingers picking challenge, his Pickers Church afterwards, but we'll figure out a way of watching both. Yes, Alberto, we got 15 minutes left. It's not over yet.
Well, thanks everybody for coming. That was really cool.
Okay, let's see. Like I said, any more questions? We still got 13 minutes left, so.
In between doing all my shipping today, I was busy shopping. There were so many awesome eBay daily deals today. I was like so addicted. Hitting the refresh on the daily deals. They were just crazy offers. Great stuff. I got like 10 pairs of socks for $6.99. And then they had oh, I don't know, I got this cool thing that hang on your steering wheel of the car that holds your phone for like $2.99 free shipping. So if you go to ebay.com and then click on the daily deals at the top, it's going to go crazy tomorrow. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's all I should say. I noticed your post about your little thrifting adventure. Did you save any of those prize gatherings for tonight's show? Like I suggested in the post?
Oh, well, when we were at the thrift store, I got a bunch of, my cart was full. I left there, I paid $75 actually. I had so much stuff in my cart. And then we left there and driving along, and traffic was insane. So we got off the interstate, and then sure enough, Jimmy spots a sign said community yard sale. So we went there, and here it was a trailer park, and I just wish so bad my phone wasn't dead, because it would have been so fun to videotape it, because it was so interesting, such interesting people. But I bought a juicer for $5, and I bought oh gosh, I came home with so much stuff. So my husband bought this huge machine that took up half of the back seat.
There you go.
So he'll be listing that, some kind of, I don't know what it is, and then but my good find was the Tony Lama cowboy boots. I was pretty happy that I love selling cowboy boots. I ran an ad for a while in our local online place that we have in Ocala, and I put we'll buy cowboy boots, or buying cowboy boots, any paying between $3 and I put paying between $3 and $25, and call me, whatever. And so I started getting calls. It was great. So one guy came along and brought me his cowboy boots, his cowboy shirts, his cowboy hats, his belt buckles,
Wow.
and his guitar.
No more cowboy anything for him, huh?
He was done being a cowboy. So he brought me all his stuff, and it was great, because I think I ended up giving him like $75 for everything. And I made that back in one pair of boots. So besides doing consignment selling, you can also put up ads. We have what's called ocalaforsale.com. So I'm sure every community has some kind of bulletin board where you can post for free. Yeah. And so I, wanted the free, whatever you have, and then put up what you buy. And so I like buying cowboy boots. And one lady, I went out she called me and said she had cowboy boots, and oh my God, she had all these cowboy boots, and they were all size 13.
Oh,
And so,
nice.
yeah, so her husband had passed away, and
Oh,
so she had all of his cowboy boots. And all I could think of was she must really miss him. Because
yeah.
they were,
Ah! Oh, wow.
so, yeah, anyhow, um, she had a lot of cowboy boots, and so I made a fortune off of those. That was great. So that's another thing you can watch for because they usually sell pretty well.
Well, I saw a question in there in the chat from Golden Finger Picker. He was asking you, Danna, when were you going to be in the Destin area that maybe you guys can hook up?
Oh yeah, I like that. I actually have been in someone that runs that postal region had asked me to come up there and do like a 3-day tour where we're going to do different post offices in that area, and there's like Walton Beach and so many different different kind of places there. So we're trying to organize that. So as soon as I do, you'll be the first to know. As soon as I get that set up, because as soon as I set up a post office event, then I start marketing it all over the place. The next big one, though, is January 25th in Jacksonville with the Home Depot at the Home Depot auditorium, and they're expecting like 200 people minimum. So I'm
Wow.
pretty excited about that.
You guys start talking to these USPS people and say, start getting your other states involved. I want to go to Colorado one time.
Yeah, so I'm working on Colorado actually because I want to come and visit my kids. So I've got I've been in touch with someone in Denver, so I'm trying to actually work that out so that I can, have the excuse to come and see the kids as well. So
There you go.
hopefully, I call them children, but they're adults.
Oh, yeah. My mom still always called me her baby. I'm the youngest. Yeah. Then she adds in, I can't believe my baby's 42. Like, thanks, Mom. I can't
I see
believe it
what
either.
I see what you said, Sean, in our chat
Yeah.
in regards to what Mark said. So I want to thank Mark for actually seeing what's going on. Now you understand when I say I walk 12 miles just to go in a 4-hour trip for yard sales. It's not always easy. So
Cool. What's the certificate on the wall? They want to know.
Oh, that's my for the Voices of the Community program with eBay. This one?
I don't know. Is that the only one we can see? Yeah, that one. Cool.
Got it.
yeah,
Yep.
I shared it so everybody can see it.
Cool.
That's
And oh,
no, it's just a really big honor to be in that. So it's like a focus group with eBay.
I saw a question from Tinker's Rose Retail asking if you do. Wait, where is it? Do you do any seminars?
Seminars?
I guess you regular seminars. I don't know exactly what he means, but like maybe they expect you to do some or something like that.
Well, I do the workshops with the post office a couple times a month. Different workshops around the Florida area. And Georgia, we've got some planned coming up in Savannah, and then over towards Alabama, down to close to Miami. So I don't know where all they're going to have me going, but since I partnershiped with the post office, it's been working out really well. So I have the post office and Constant Contact, and they together have made these free. So it's nice because they're 2.5-hour workshops. But I also do private workshops. So I'm actually doing 2 next week, and those are $350 per person.
Okay. Rosie Horner asks, how much do you source for stuff on eBay?
A what?
How much do you source for stuff on eBay?
Do I source?
Yeah, how much do you source?
Well, when I run out of stuff, I just go to the garage sales because they're every weekend.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about Florida. We never run out of stuff. So
not much on eBay itself then, huh?
No. I get everything on local garage sales, thrift stores. But garage sales are my #1 favorite.
Mm.
However, I did recently buy the tiki mug on Facebook. I paid $10 for it and sold it for $285 on eBay.
There's another question about China sets. Would it be better to piece them out, say like per setting, or like as a whole lot, or?
Everyone's different. It just, again, on your research, sometimes it's better to sell them piece by piece versus in the whole set. So wherever I can make the most amount of money. I know I had a lady bring me some Lennox, and I actually sold like the sugar bowl, the salt and pepper, the gravy boat. I sold everything separately. The platters, I sold those all separately. And then now we've got the dinner plate, the bread and butter, the cup and saucer in one listing. And we're going to see how that goes. So, but I sold all of the other pieces except for the main dishes. So now we're going to see if we can sell those in a set like that. And I think I have them up for $125. And Cyber Monday, when the sale kicks in, I think they're on the 30% list.
Sweet.
Well, now we got about a minute or two left. We started a little late, so let's see if there's any more last-minute questions or comments.
Time flies by when you're having fun.
Yep.
Yep, and I'm not going to keep here longer than you need to because I know you got shipping to do.
Yep. Shipping, because I got to finish off my shipping. So that, I don't know, lately when I do my videotaping on my cell phone, it takes so long to upload it. Sometimes it takes like 3 hours to get it just to upload.
Well, I know I want to thank Golden Finger Picker because I noticed he just said, good show, Chris and Sean. I have to go watch Walking Dead now. You took priority tonight.
Yep.
Just so everybody knows, next week on the 7th, we are going to have Scrapperella Elena with us for the 2nd hour discussing Cassini. So get your questions ready for that 2nd hour, and me and Sean will maybe do a couple of updates on how we're doing or whatever, and talk about Cassini ourselves until she gets able to join us.
I only have 2 words for Cassini, and I can't say them on your show, so. There you go.
She's getting one off.
Getting busy.
I just want to hear that cha-ching.
Yeah. Yep. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. Well, Sean, you want to say anything before we say goodnight? It's past the hour.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting in the chat, keeping it busy. And yeah, tune in again next week.
And Danna, would you like to say anything before we go?
just want to say thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you boys. I really enjoy it, and looking forward to doing it again and seeing you online soon. And until next time, wishing everybody a happy eBay selling kind of day, and go Cyber Monday. Let's go kick some eBay selling butt tomorrow.
Heck yeah.
And I want to thank all our 40 plus viewers that we hit 60 at the most that I saw tonight. I want to thank them all again for watching. Like I said, we will have Cassini discussion next week with Scrap Varela. And I wanted to also hope everybody had a great week, Thanksgiving and everything else. So I will look forward to you next week with all the fun we're going to start before the new year starts.
I have
Good night, everybody.
one more thing. Or I'll wait after.
Go ahead. I ain't stopping
No,
yet.
go ahead and end it. I'll say it offline.
Okay.